Hey, hello and welcome to this week's platform meeting. It's the second one in the second quarter. We have a lot of stuff on our agenda, so let's dive in. I'm putting the agenda on the SUMO IRC channel. And the first thing that we have here is action items from last week. First one was Kadir to follow up on items that need work before we can put them into the next sprint. So one thing there was about Firefox on iOS. So all the bugs for that are filed. And we should be good. So it seems like we will talk about that in the roundtable section. Sorry, in the roadmap section. But the bugs for that are filed. Seems like we're on a good track. On a good track for that. And the other thing is Buddy Up for Desktop. That's scheduled for the next sprint. And actually, let me put the next sprint also, or the sprint calendar, in here for the second quarter. So we have planned iOS readiness and Buddy Up for Desktop changes for the next sprint. And I'm putting that here. And also the roadmap section. The other thing is Kadir to follow up on rate limit usage. So I did that. I looked at rate limiting I just limited to last month. Wanted to get a quick overview of what's going on there. As you can see, 99% of the rate limiting actually hits people or bots or whatever that are trying to upvote articles. Just in March alone, that's like 13,000 times did we limit people from upvoting articles. You have to keep in mind, like, this is just the accounts that hit the limit. There are a lot more that actually did vote. So based on this, actually, we might have to rethink our the way we count votes in the KB. It might be that from the 10,000 votes that we have today per day, or it's actually closer to 20,000, but 10,000 just on the English side, it might be that a lot of those are actually not real humans voting, and that will be a huge thing. So this is something to follow up on. I don't have any immediate schedule for this, but this is something that I want to follow up on this quarter, like figuring out are those real humans, people who vote. Patrick, it seems like you want to say something, but you're probably muted. Not? Okay. Just let's move. This
is knowledge-based votes, right?
Just clear my throat.
I think we have forum votes that are wrong too. But
yeah, but the thing is that 99% of the rate limiting happens on articles. Sorry, that's not true. Just a moment. Well, that is true. 99% is article votes, and the rest, like the 1%, includes everything else, like question votes or support forum votes, and legitimate limiting of people who want to spam. That said, I think we caught one or maybe two spammers with the rate limiting last month. It could also be that those, the spammers we caught, that we deleted them, I guess, and I'm not sure if that also deletes any trace of them in the journal. Actually, Mike, do you know that?
What kind of spammer? Sorry.
I was just saying. So when spammers, when we catch them and delete them, delete their account, are their actions also deleted from the journal, or is
no? The journal's very simple. It doesn't have that kind of data. Like it doesn't have the kind of data that would be deleted.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have links to users. It just has their username.
Okay. So in that case, we caught one spammer trying to post several questions in a short time. And then maybe another spammer that tried to actually answer, post a lot of answers. But that's maybe because the answers are not there anymore. So I don't know whether those were deleted because they were spam or for some other reason. That's kind of surprising. Like I would have thought that we would catch a lot more spammers in the forums, but that's not the case. Rate limiting in the forums is almost non-existent. I mean, for posts and questions, but even for votes, it's almost non-existent. It seems like one legitimate user was blocked, and this is a bit concerning because it seems like they were blocked while trying to have a back and forth with the contributor. So there was a question, the user answered that, then another question, the user answered that, and went back and forth, and somewhere in there the user got blocked. That is unfortunate. It was one out of, I think, 3,000 or so. It's not a huge thing, but it is unfortunate. And then one contributor was blocked, a legitimate contributor. Also once, I think. Yeah, so rate limiting doesn't really seem to be a big deal for contributors. Like they almost never hit it. But there's certainly, we should look into the article votes. I first thought those would be like crawlers for search engines. I was wrong. Checking just a sample of those IP addresses, turns out that most of those were actually from spammers, trying to find something that's vulnerable, I'm guessing. So
I wonder if there's a correlation between spammers. I mean, because I've noticed on the Android questions that there are spam votes, because there's like incredibly vague questions that have 4 votes. Yeah, I don't think it's a big thing, but I wonder if those come from the same IP addresses as the KB article vote spammers, or KB article spammers in general.
Yeah, we have to assume that. I mean, we do know that in the forums we also have issues with votes done by spammers. I mean, that is absolutely clear. It's just that 99% of it is happening in the KB, 1% is happening in the forums. But it's there. It's happening. Yeah, so I'll try to look deeper into this and see if we can do something, find more data about this. But at least for the purpose that we were interested in, like, is this still an issue for contributors? It doesn't look like it is.
Yeah, agreed.
So thanks, Mike, for actually logging this. Now we can talk about the stuff with actual data. All right. Any questions about this? Or any comments? Anything you would like me to look into?
I'm actually curious because you had mentioned the 1% of the people who had said me. You said those are the Me Too votes for the forum?
Sorry, could you speak up? Unfortunately, I couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, sure. So the 1% that you were talking about, the votes that you were counting in that, were those the ones that are clicked on when you say Me Too in a particular forum question thread?
So the rest of the 1% includes everything.
Okay.
Like people. So if anybody was limited by the Me Too votes, that would be a legitimate block, but because it's almost unimaginable that a real person is being blocked based on that. I am not even sure whether we do rate limit that at all.
Okay.
But what I actually meant is the majority of the vote-related blocks that are not document votes, like not KB votes, they are question votes, like this question or this post is helpful, or this answer is helpful, or this answer is not helpful, like both.
Okay, so
Yeah, but again, it was really limited. I don't know, what was it, like less than, I think, 200 or so of total cases in the whole month. So even in the forum, it's not a huge thing in the forums.
Okay.
Okay. So if there are no questions about that, we can move on to the roundtable section. So we have a new developer joining us on SUMO Dev. I wanted to let you know about that. His name is Adrian. He's actually, a nice thing about him is he's in the European time zone for a change. So it's great to have people on the SUMO team who are also in this time zone. Actually, I think the spread is really nice. So you will have one person in the European time zone, then Rehan in the Eastern time zone, and Mike in the Western time zone. So
is Adrian in Germany?
In France. Yeah. So we have a little bit of extra time to actually work on things. And one of the things that Mike suggested was advanced search, because it's a project for which we already have the UX. We already know that we want to do it. The only issue that we had was that we didn't have time to work on it. So Adrian is someone who knows search very well. That's what he was doing before he came to SUMO. And just to be clear, he's with us 50% of the time. So he's still working on other projects. But that's what he was doing before, working on search. So this is a good way for him to get started on the SUMO side. It has part of it is front-end implementation, and part of it is on the back end. So yeah, Mike suggested that. I thought it was a great idea. Hope you guys agree. All right.
Oh yeah.
Super great idea.
Super
So he's a MoCo employee who's 50% with us. Yay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And 50% where else?
Crash that.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, I just saw Mark. So hey, Mark. Mark is, for those who don't know, Mark is now new on our team.
Right. Mark is the new Firefox for desktop.
Yeah.
User
Welcome to
success
SUMO,
support
Mark.
coordinator.
I don't think we had the community meeting this week, right? Otherwise, we usually do the introductions there.
But we will have one on
I
Monday.
think it was
we'll
Easter
have
Monday.
a real introduction.
All right.
Yeah, there will be a
Being
proper
quiet.
introduction with.
Proper.
All right.
Proper.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then. So that's that. That's Adrian joining the team, working on advanced search next. And I think we will start working with him starting next Tuesday. Is that correct, Mike? All right. So yeah. Then it's demo time.
Woo.
I was actually hoping to be able to do this last week. Didn't quite work out.
Somebody's mic. Turn your mic off, whoever is causing that. Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen here and give you a demo of Buddy Up. No, that was the wrong screen. Inception. Okay. This is the right screen. Okay, so this is Buddy Up for Firefox OS. Some of you might have seen this already. But what's really cool about this app is that you can ask questions without having to sign in. And we can still reach you. So as a user, you can just go ahead and ask a question. You don't have to care about any login or anything. You just go in there, and let me show you. So I have a question now. So how do I turn off or how do I go into airplane mode? So I could go to one of the articles like this. While I'm typing my question, it's showing me search results. So I could just go to one of those search results. But I could also see, I could also say, nope, that doesn't answer my question. I just want to ask it in a support forum. So then I have a question there. This is the first time I'm doing this, so it's telling me what's going to happen next. All right. Okay, so here we have an artifact of the simulator. This doesn't happen on an actual device, but for some reason, the simulator, if you use the keyboard, will sometimes add this thing, and now I can't scroll past it, so I have to close this and open this up again. Sorry about this. All right. So I'm going to go into my question. And let's see what happens if somebody, so yeah, I asked my question here, and now I'm doing something else. I'm going into the browser, and I don't know, where am I going to go? Oh, yeah, of course. So I'm browsing the web, and somebody is answering my question. Did I have it open here? Yeah.
Cool. Mysterious typing, mysterious typing.
And there is the message. Oh, Kadir commented on a question. So I just click on that notification. It goes into the app, and yep, there's the answer. Just swipe down and click the plane icon. Ah, there it is. All right. So just like that, I asked a question, didn't have to sign up at all, and got an answer for that. And now I'm a happy Firefox OS user.
Cool.
There's a lot more to it, but I just wanted to give you a quick demo of how this works. And what I like most about it is, first, you don't have to sign up, and second, you get real-time notifications when somebody answers your question. You don't have to go into your emails or anything. We tell you right away so that you can try it out, and if it doesn't work, you can message that user back, that contributor back. And if I, as a contributor, I would get a notification from that user, didn't work, and I can give another answer right away. So you can have lots of back and forths in a very short amount of time.
So this is live. All I need is Firefox OS phone plus app plus desktop.
And it's also in the marketplace. It is not listed yet. It's reviewed but not listed. So we have a few bugs that we want to work on before we open it up to the general public. But it's working. We just want to polish it a little bit before we do that. But if you're interested in it, I can give you the URL, and you can just download it from the marketplace.
Congratulations, team. Woo!
Yeah, I'm really proud of that. Thanks to Mike and to everyone who has worked on this. So this is something that makes me really proud. Jody has also worked on this. All the wording is from her. So
Hermina,
really cool.
Ralph, lots of
Absolutely.
Great.
I also like this. Like, this is a special view where we show the top contributors of the week.
I wonder who that gesture guy is. He's everywhere.
Yeah. And we have nice animations like this.
So right now I can't do Android,
you
but we could port to Android potentially in the future, or desktop or something.
Yeah, so the future of this is a little bit open, mainly because some of the features that we use are Firefox OS specific. One of those things is the notification thing, like it's a Firefox OS level thing. We might be able to replicate that on Android, but for now this is something that will only work on. Sorry, that's not true. It will work on Firefox for Android through that program that we have. That every app that runs on Firefox OS also runs on Firefox for Android. But as an actual native app, this is currently a Firefox OS only thing. But the APIs that we are using for this, that Mike wrote, they're not limited to Firefox OS. So we will use these APIs in the future to build a better Firefox support on mobile devices experience. All right, that was the quick demo.
So cool, like we can, and any volunteer can use it?
Any volunteer can use it. You can use it from your device, but probably for volunteers it makes the most sense to actually use this from their computer if they have one, like if they want to answer a lot of different things. But if you have a Firefox OS phone and you want to answer questions, this is the perfect way to do it. Like it's totally optimized for that. So if you sign up, like you have to sign up for answering questions. But then you can just go in here and do everything, almost everything that you could do. You can do on a desktop. You can also do here.
And when you say do it on a computer, are you talking about using the simulator to bring up the Firefox OS?
No, I'm actually saying the cool thing is we are using the support forum as our backend. So if you have a computer with a real keyboard, it's probably easier to type on a real keyboard, and you can totally do that. And you can still help people who use this on their Firefox OS device because we are using the same backend, the support forum. It doesn't matter. You can start helping on the computer and continue on the go. Like you start working on something, and then you are out there with your Firefox OS device, and the user says, hey, this didn't quite help me. You would get a notification to your device, and then you could answer, like, I don't know, from when you're waiting for the bus or something like that.
So if I had a Bluetooth keyboard, I could, at a cafe, I could easily, with my Firefox OS phone, I could do lots of fun work.
Absolutely. That's the idea.
Yep.
The idea is also that you start as a person who needs help and then maybe are interested in helping others. So the start screen is divided in half. Top half is for if you have questions, and the bottom half is for if you have answers. And hopefully people will graduate from this step to this step.
So you could use the one of the people here has a tablet. Should work on the Firefox OS tablet, right? Maybe.
I don't know actually. We haven't tested it on a Firefox OS tablet.
Cool.
I wasn't actually aware that we did have, like I knew we had test devices, but I didn't.
That's what he has. He has a test device.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't think there are any Firefox OS tablets in the wild, so we haven't tested on anything.
No problem. I assume you hadn't.
The app would probably look very strange on a tablet because it's not optimized for that at all.
So I have many options. I could do this unsupported tablet hack. I could do phone, Firefox OS phone, or Firefox OS phone with a Bluetooth keyboard, or I could run the simulator on my desktop, or I could just answer questions on the forum normally.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So yeah, that's the advantage of actually using the support forum as the backend. We already have questions there. We already have contributors there. So this is a great way to use the strength of the support forum to power something new. All right. Okay, we still have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's move on to the next demo. And that's, I'm actually going to do that in a browser window. And the next one is the community dashboards, the community hubs. We have two of them, one for LTNN, one for the support forum. And they already work. They are on production. This is actual data. You can just click the links on the agenda, and you will see the same thing. So you can here filter for contributors real fast. So I'm really always fascinated by how fast the filtering works over such a large data set. What you can also do is you can filter based on the time. Like, let's say I'm interested in the last 7 days in the support forum, what happened there. So that's what I just did. So this is just giving me the last 7 days. you can see. I think it does that. Well, just today. Yep. So fewer people in the support forum just today. You can say, show me just for Portuguese. Visiting
Cool.
Portuguese, last 30 days. Yep. And I'm just interested in, I don't know, Firefox. Oh, of course, Thunderbird. Yeah, there are Thunderbird Portuguese questions for Thunderbird.
Or Firefox
for
for
people
Android
who answer
Portuguese.
those.
That's cool.
And the cool thing about this is, if you look into the address bar, you can see that the URL has changed. Every time I do something here, the URL up there changes. Like if I'm changing this to the last 90 days, you can see how this changes. The cool thing about that is you can construct a URL like that, just paste it somewhere, and it will always show you the filtered view. So it would show you the last 90 days. Or, well, actually, I think in this case it would be absolute dates. Maybe that's something that we can also work on. But at least for the product filter, the locale filter, or usernames, it will always keep those filters. So you can create a bookmark and come back to this later on. And just create your own views, the things that you're interested in. So that's a pretty cool feature. And this is for the support forum. So we are tracking answers, solutions, and helpful votes. But we also have same thing for L10N. And here again, we can select locales. So I'm interested in a German locale. And just Firefox. So I can see who is active in this area. Or do we have somebody who's working on Thunderbird in Germany? Oh, yes, we do.
Nice.
How about open badges? Like, even there, people who are working on that.
Open badge.
So as a community lead, as a local leader, I can have a quick view of like who is active in my locale, like who has been active in the last 90 days, and who have I not seen recently, like these people, they have been away for quite some time. Maybe I can reach out to them and ask them if there's anything I can do to bring them back.
What can we do under actions?
So that's supposed to be messaging, and that's the user story that we have in the current sprint.
Yeah.
The fonts are not loading right now, but I know that Mike already was working on that or looking into it, so it should work at some point soon. And when it does, so just for clarification, we're using fonts here instead of graphics like a PNG or something else. And one of the benefits is that it scales really well. So even if you're on a Retina screen, it would look nice, and we don't have to do anything extra for it. So hopefully we can use fonts for that. And also in the current sprint is the ability or the user story that you can select several people here. Then click on action, which is a button that will be down here, and mail or rather private message those people. So if you're a local leader and you want a private message or send a message to everybody on your team, you could just do that from up here. Oh, I guess that's also something that will then be done with a new user story.
Actually, that's supposed to work, so I don't know why that's not working right now.
Okay.
Keita, can you do me a favor and select every, select all 12 rows? Sorry, I'm using you to debug.
There's no select all? Not yet.
Well, select all is supposed to work. I don't know why it's not. Okay, I need to fix that. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, anyway.
Don't worry.
What's that?
Just saying it looks great and it works great, so if it has minor few glitches, you know, that just happens every time I have something fairly new. So yeah, really good.
Totally just a few bugs they'll be fixed.
Yeah, so
beta.
That's true. And it is on. So I had actually asked Mike to put this on production also because there is no reason not to do it. We can use up-to-date data, but it's not linked from anywhere. So it's not actually hurting anyone, even if there are some rough edges. And Mike is still working on this. So in the current sprint, we still have a few user stories that are going to land that are going to make this even more useful. Anyway, I'm really excited about this. So thanks a lot for this, Mike. I think a lot of people really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just want to add that hopefully this is just the beginning, because we want to do a lot of things with the Community Hub starting from here. So we will use this quarter to play around, see what works and what doesn't, and what are other things that we need to do. And hopefully we will continue with developing this further for other SUMO areas and adding other cool features to make this a really, really cool tool for everybody to use. So yeah, thanks everybody who was involved in the project. I was really happy to work with everybody. This came out nice with all our hurdles and lack of resources, but yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy that this really worked out, and it worked out nice. So that's really cool. All right, that was so demo time is over, but we had two nice demos to finish items from the last quarter. So let's turn at items for this quarter. You can see the link to the Q2 sprints. And as you can see, the next items on our list are iOS on SUMO and Buddy Up for desktop. So for iOS on SUMO, I think we can go ahead and put those bugs into the next sprint. There's some work to do still, but even if those things don't land on time, we can just do them later. One of them is like the Firefox on iOS icon. So I have asked Creative to give us an icon specifically for Firefox on iOS. It might take a little while. In the meantime, we can just use the standard icon for Firefox that we use everywhere. Important thing, do not use the nurse icon. I hope at some point we can actually remove that completely. It shouldn't even be the standard icon for anything. Another thing that's still open is the user agent, if I'm correct. Or Roland, do you have any news on that?
I believe they've settled on a user agent. I'm not convinced that's the final user agent, but they closed the bug saying the user agent was defined. So I think we have
I haven't followed that, so that's cool. That means that
I linked
was the only
to our
thing.
user agent bug, so it depends on the development team's user agent bug, which has a user agent string in it. So Mike, if that doesn't meet your needs, let me know or ping them on the developer bug.
Okay, I haven't looked at that yet. So
you'll figure it out.
Not okay.
It won't be that hard. The only other thing, Kadir, is that this is more of a future thing. We need to file a bug for show4, which I don't think will belong for V1 or V1.1.
No, it's probably something that we will need maybe in Q3. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, in Q3 or Q4, depending on how many releases we will have and how.
We should file it anyways, because if you don't file it, you forget about it. So I'll go ahead and file that.
Oh, okay.
And I won't block the tracker bug on it. We'll probably have a post V1 tracker bug at some point, but we won't file a tracker bug for post V1 since we haven't done V1 yet.
Exactly. All right.
Give me an action item.
Yep. I just added an action item for you then. So the user agent was the only other thing that I was concerned about, but with that out of the way, I think we can just go ahead and start this. So I'll put those items into the next sprint then. And the other thing that we have for the next sprint is Buddy Up for desktop. That is a little bit open. So either we are going with a simple solution. You can see both solutions actually lined out at the bottom of the project document that is linked from the agenda. If you go with a simple solution, it means that we just have a button in the support forum, and all it does is it creates a private message that somebody can then write stuff in, and then posts a message to the community, to the support forum. That's it. It wouldn't do anything else, and that's the very manual solution. But we are also looking into another solution that would use Firefox Hello API. And if that works out, and if that's something that's not too huge, then we would wait for that before we go ahead.
So I looked at those APIs. I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, Mike,
those APIs are basically making a Firefox Hello client, and there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done before it can be used. And I don't think that's something that we'll be able to do.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about the API that I had linked or that I'd given you earlier this week, right?
Right.
All right. So the next step that we wanted to take was meet with a Firefox Hello engineer to see if there are any APIs that would actually be suitable for this. If that's not the case, then we just have to do the manual way. Like if there is no, what we were thinking was if there is something that we can do within 2 weeks, like within one sprint, then let's do it. But if that's not the case, if it would take a month or longer to actually develop anything, then we will just go the manual way and try to get our data that way. It's more difficult because you have to ask the user to do a lot more work. But this is a trial, so we want to use Q2 for figuring out whether this is worth spending a lot of time and resources on. So for the trial, we wouldn't want to implement something that takes weeks or months to implement. So hopefully we can meet with someone this week or early next week, and then we will have our answer and put the thing that makes sense into the next sprint.
Is there some sort of go, no-go for whatever you end up deciding? Or a desktop? Date?
Yeah,
go, no-go date?
Yeah, it's Tuesday, essentially. We need to have that button, like if we are going with the manual solution, we need to do that on Tuesday. We need to put that into the sprint on Tuesday because we want to go live with this April 23rd. So there is not much wiggle room there. We need the majority of the quarter to do the testing. We can't wait very long for any Upwork implementation. Yeah. So that's the immediate next sprint. Then beyond that, I'm working with Joni on prioritizing items, user stories for the article page redesign. So that's happening today. After that, we are going to have a round of guesstimates with Mike. Go back to those user stories, get the UX for it, and then hopefully have like a prioritized list of things that we can estimate with their UX and put that into the sprint after the next one. That's the current plan. And then even beyond that, I think that would then be the fourth sprint is the unified ask a question page. So for those, for that, I'm just starting to collect base data now so that we have something that we can say this is our starting point, have the new ask a question flow implemented, and then compare it to the state before. And this is not just for the ask a question flow, it's also for the support form itself. Where we are doing two things. We want to know how many people are currently abandoning the process of asking a question, and how many, because that's one thing that we want to drive down, more people should actually follow through and ask a question. And the other thing that we were interested in is how many normal questions do we have in the support forum, like questions that can be answered by an average contributor. It's a bit of a fuzzy metric, but we should have something that is roughly in the ballpark. And the idea is that if we are successful with this redesign, then more normal people will be able to follow through with their question instead of just the very savvy users, because this is one of the complaints that we are hearing, that right now in the support forums we have questions that can only be answered by experts because the questions do come from experts. So yeah, that's the immediate. Those are the immediate next things that we're working on. We also have mobile product page redesign and search quality, but those still need some work. So we are going to determine the next steps for them this week and next week. And that, in short, is our plan and status for the items on the roadmap for Q2. I was actually pinged on IRC by Philip. So Philip, you say permission denied. I'm guessing that's on one of the Etherpads, or maybe on a Google Doc.
I think it's study it for desktop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not the owner for that, but I'll ask Hermina to make that public. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I'll ask Hermina to make that public. Unfortunately, I'm not the owner, so I can't do that. What else? Actually, I think that's it for the roadmap. And we don't have any specific bug discussions, but maybe there are questions, comments, anything for the roadmap items? Yeah. Yeah, Philip, you're right. We should default to open. Sometimes people will just start a document and forget to make it public. Unfortunately, on Google Doc, that is the default. Every document that you create is private by default, and you have to manually set it to public, and sometimes people forget about that. So that's really unfortunate. Okay, that's it. Any questions about the roadmap items? Any comments? If not, then we're through. You get 10 minutes back.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this quarter. Lots of stuff to do. A lot more things on our roadmap than last quarter. So that's also exciting. Means a lot more coordination needs to happen though. So I'm very hopeful we'll be able to do that. All right. Well then, thank you guys. And I'll talk to you again hopefully next week. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.